Abingdon Museum crafting crew. We called this session Monster Mash, and it's all about creating fantastical features on cardboard boxes and card. And we've taken inspiration from various places around the world. The first one are from the totem poles of Northwest America. And from there, the indigenous people would create these huge totem poles, often from one tree, and they would carve symbols or figures on them. So here's one that we've made, taking that as an inspiration. So we've got these boxes of the same set shape, but you could use a mixture of different ones, and created these faces just from collage papers. I think they kind of got a bit of a Mexican look to them. And you can stick those on and maybe put those in your bedroom, in the window, to inspire other people, or even in the garden in the nice weather. We've also taken inspiration for Monster Mash from Abingdon itself and its historical buildings. And if you look at places like St Nicholas Church, with the archway going into Abingdon, and around St Helen's Church, if you look up high, you'll see gargoyles. And while these serve a practical purpose of being gutters, really, to direct water away from the masonry, there are lots of different ideas and theories as to their maybe more spiritual purpose. The word gargoyle actually means dragon, and it was the name of a dragon that used to frighten people in Rouen, a town in France. And the dragon eventually was slain, and a model of it, or a sculpture of it, was put up at the top of the church to warn people away, to say we're not going to be frightened by any old dragon. So we've taken inspiration and made other things out of boxes. So this one, which has got quite a fun feature on it, with a slit up at the top there as a money box. This one, which is kind of quite cute, with little springy legs. Now you can't tell, but that's actually before the box was decorated. It was opened up and a weight put inside, so it's a big heavy pebble, so that you could put that on the edge of a bookcase as a bookend, so you could put your books in between. That's that one. This one as a cute rabbit, and this one as a treasure box. So inside it says keep out, which is actually just an old pet food box. And on this one, rather than being coated in paper, what we've done is just cut off bits of felt that fit onto the various sides of the box, and that looks quite effective with some hair on the top. So what I'm going to show you that I made as well is this one, which is a pen pot, and I'll show you now how to make this one. Okay, so to create your own Monster Mash inspired box, you can, like this one I showed you with the totem pole, use different wrapping paper or collage paper to create the features, like the eyes. These are almost bird-like inspired beak here, and cutting slats in or slits in here to create the hair. So you can really be creative with the colours and textures. This one, which was the paper, the bookend, has got a paperweight inside, or a pebble. And for this one, it is just literally bits torn from a magazine and then some googly eyes put on. And if you had tissue paper or decoupage paper, you would really come up with a very similar technique. So I think that's really effective. And you could do two matching and have one at either end of your bookcase. And again, the bunny one, the bunny rabbit one, which is really cute, that's just taken from white pages of a magazine. Looks really effective. And the one that we showed you, that was the money box. It's really simple, just taking two colours, and this time, rather than the paper being ripped, it's being cut. so it creates that really nice pattern and just really simple features on there for the face. And you might need a grown-up to help you cut out the top there to create a slip from money box. And the one that I'm going to make you, to show you how to make, is this one, which is a pen pot. So I'm going to show you how to make that one. So you need some scissors, pen, a ruler, and a box to begin with. So what you want to do first of all is decide how tall that you want your box to be. So I'm going to go to similar to this one, so about that kind of height. And then just to make it easier for cutting, I'm going to draw some lines going around as to where I want the box to be cut to. 3, and then that side should match up with that one roughly about there. There we go. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut down to there. And cut along, trying to stay on the line. And once you've got into that bit, it all becomes a bit easier. So in there. And then just cut that bit off to the end. There we go. And get rid of those. So that's the basic shape of your pen pot. And then the technique that I used for covering this one was basically like wrapping up a present. So I happen to have, which was lucky, some nice wrapping paper. But again, you could use plain paper, tissue paper, maybe magazine as well, if you find some nice paper from a magazine. So just kind of match up your paper to check that it's going to fit round like that. And then you can start gluing it on. So put some glue, plenty on. Use PVA or Pritt stick for this. And then stick that across there. Make sure, yeah, you've got enough top and bottom there. And then I'm going to glue on the side here. Okay, got that side. And here, so that'll stick at the side there. There we go. And then you can glue all the way along here to the edge, and then that's going to wrap up the side. And you want to make sure that you especially, you want to make sure especially you get glue along that edge so that when you stick it down, it's going to create a nice edge on your outside of your pen pot here. So pull that up, make sure it's stuck nicely at the side, and then stick that down there. There we go. Now, if you've ever wrapped a present, this is the kind of same technique that you're going to use. So with your scissors, you're going to cut down here towards the corner of the box. So just cut down there. In each of the corners. And what you can do on 2 of them is if you just cut a little wedge off or a triangle off like that, just means that when you do your gluing, it just becomes a little bit neater. Okay, I'll do that this bit here. And then this corner. Okay, and you take your glue and carefully going to glue each of these underneath your box. So you glue there and then gently fold that down, and then you do that for each of the sides. Okay, so that's all of the bottom side of the pen pot done there, and then you basically do the same for the top, except this time you're folding them down inside to the box. So again, cut down each corner and then cut those little wedges off just to make it a little bit neater when you fold it down. And then like you did for underneath, I'm going to glue inside the paper there and then carefully fold that into your box, making sure it's nice and firmly stuck down and the edges are nice and neat. And then work your way around, do that for all of the sides. There you go. So that's the basic shape there of your pen pot, which is quite straightforward to do, and then you can enjoy decorating it. So really you can use anything you like for this: ribbon, paper, stickers, sequins, whatever you've got. I've got some of this nice craft tape, so I'm just going to put some of that around to create a little bit of a pattern. There we go. And then some of this red tape as well. Go. And then I happen to have some of these googly eyes, which look quite fun, but if you haven't got any of those, you could just cut out 2 circles in white and then 2 in black and stick those on any way that you like, just like on this one here. So it doesn't matter if you haven't got any googly eyes. So plenty of glue on the back of these so that they stick. I'm going to put one there. One there. And then just with a black pen, put some eyebrows. A bit sad at the moment, and then for the face, what I did was just a line going across, and then I just used some card to cut out some sharp teeth. But you could do whatever features you like on yours. You don't have to even do teeth if you don't want. So glue on the back of those, stick those on. There we go. And then to put the hair on the side, what I did for that one was use some green paper, or before I used ribbon, but you could use green paper to create these curls. And for that, all you do, get some paper, cut at the side, and then you might again need a grown-up to help you with this, but what you do is you put your thumb on the edge of the scissors, not on the blade, you don't want to cut yourself, but just on the edge, and then you pull the paper across and it should curl up like that. So I'm going to do a few of those. Then you just need a bit more glue, and then you can stick those on the side to create some curly hair. And some glue on the other side. My Monster Mash money box. So have a go at creating something like that, or one of your own design. So for this session as well, we also looked at the mysterious figures on Easter Island, an island in the South Pacific. And if you Google those and look, there's some amazing pictures of them. And we thought you could create another card using idea. So this one, as you can see, as you bend it, the nose becomes 3D. So they had these amazing features. You could also do that with the eyebrows if you're really clever and artistic. But I'm going to show you how you can make this one just with things about the house. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to make the card inspired by these amazing mystical figures on Easter Island in the South Pacific. So here's a picture of them, and this is the card that we've created. And as you can see, it's got this a 3D effect where the nose closes in as you open the card, which looks quite effective. So, to show you how to do this bit, I'm going to show you a little technique, and it's a really useful one if you're making 3D cards at any time. So for birthdays, Christmas, Easter, it's just a really useful one that you could have for doing things like robins or chicks. So if I show you with a piece of paper, just to start off with. So what you do is you take your piece of paper or card and you fold it in half like that. And you make sure that you really score along the edges. So you take it like that, and then you fold it back again, just to make sure that it's really scored on both, and then open it out. And then what you do is fold it back in on itself, and then with your scissors you cut up about halfway through, or however large you want this this bit of the fold to be, but probably about halfway, like that. Then you fold this part back on itself to create that triangle shape. So you fold it back one way, turn it over, and then fold it back the other way, like that. And then when you open it out, and this is the fiddly bit, you have to kind of push that through along those lines, so that as you fold your card, this bit is going to fold one way and the card is going to fold the other. See what I mean? So you push that forward, so this fold is going to go back that way and this fold is going to come forward like that. So it creates that nice effect, and I'm going to show you now how you can use that with the Easter Island figures. So that's just my example. So I cheated a little bit and printed out a picture of one of the figures from the internet, and then what I did was, just like I showed you there, fold your figure in half, cut up the side where the nose is, so you might have to cut from one side first, like that, and then do your scores, fold it one side, fold it the other, and then fold it back on itself again, fold it one side, fold it the other, so it's well folded, and then you should be able to have your nose will fold in as you fold your card, like that. And once you're happy with that, and you've got that working, which might take a little bit of fiddling about with, you can make your card. So for that, you need a piece of card, chosen blue, so that it looks like the blue sky, but you don't have to. You could create a stylized one and do totally different colours. I didn't have cards, so I've got paper here. Fold that in half and then open it out. And then to create the background, I got some green, and I'm just going to cut out some bits to look like the grass here. So I'm going to use the straight edge of the paper. Just cut some bits like that. So one, glue those down. So that's just like the grassy hillside. If you look up pictures on the internet, you can see they're quite dramatic, looking out to the sea. One there. One there. And that just creates a nice background. And then I'm going to stick my figure on in the middle, and this is where it's slightly tricky because you need to make sure, just fold your paper again, you need to make sure where you stick your head is going to be bang on in the middle of the fold. So the easiest way to do that is to do it in two halves. So glue this side first of all. You don't want to glue your nose down. And then glue that to one side, making sure it's as much in line as you can get it to the fold in the middle. I'll just check that. And then rather than sticking it down, then put a bit of glue on this side and then fold this side onto it, and then it should be able to fold and open out nicely. Let's just check that. Yay! That's going to work. So each time you open and close it, the nose is going to open and close. And then to create the grass, I used various bits, or I'm going to use various bits. So I got tissue paper, bits from magazines here, all with different sorts of greens on. So I'm going to cut those out now and then stick those on. Okay, and once you've got lots of those thin triangles cut out, you can glue those onto your picture to create the scenery around it. And then if you want to, you can put some of the shorter grass going in front of the figure, just to create a sense of the depth. Okay. Just check that that still folds. And you can keep going with your design as much as you like. Every so often you might want to just keep checking that your nose folds. Just ease it up a little bit and then fold it over. That. And you can add to your design. You could even put things in the skyline if you wanted to. There you go. I think those look really effective. Well, we hope you enjoyed that session called Monster Mash, and will be inspired to create some amazing craft at home. Next time our session is called Make, Do and Mend, and for this session we're thinking about VE Day and 75 years since the end of the Second World War. And it was a time a bit like now when people were having to make do and mend, so they were having to make do with what they got at home. They couldn't maybe get to the shops like we've not been able to get to, so we thought it might be a good time to think about that time in the war as well as now. And the things that you need to be trying to find, if you can, would be some wool, card and lolly sticks, marbles if you've got them, and if not you could use scrunched up foil, and wrapping paper and magazines. And we're going to show you how to make some games and toys and crafts similar to those that children might have been making during the Second World War. So we hope you can catch us then. In the meantime, I've got a message here from Abingdon Museum itself, and I'm going to read it to you because it's got some things in that I'm probably going to forget. So we hope you're enjoying our crafting sessions and making craft along with us as we go. We'd be really happy to see your creations, so why not share your photos of the craft you've made, and you can do this by attaching them in the comments section of this video on Facebook, or you can post them using the hashtag Abingdon Museum Crew on Instagram. We've also got an account on Twitter where you can tag @Museum Crew along with a photo. Don't forget to let us know which of the craft sessions that we've done that's inspired your creations. We're also going to launch a museum craft raffle with all the photos that we've received, and your crafts will also be part of a photo album called Museum Crafts in Lockdown, and you can see those on the museum website. And once lockdown is over and the museum opens again, we'll put all of the photos in a hat of your craft and pick 6 out of a lucky dip, and each one of those 6 will receive a prize from our museum shop. So please have a go, and I hope you win. I hope you're lucky. But until then, take care.